$48 silver. Yes, we're hearing people talk about $48 silver, but do you need a big warning? Us, the average retail, well, not just so average, but let's say normal retail silver investor, I've got some interesting news that I got from a high level executive at a bullion company regarding what goes on when we have these price spikes in silver. But we're going to talk about the silver and gold price. Guys, it's been a great couple days. Are we headed for a pullback? Are we headed for a crash? Is it going to happen again? We'll talk about that and a lot more in this video. Plus, unbelievable news about our government and the financial situation that the United States finds itself in. And it directly relates to what we're going to see in the future price of silver and gold. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for joining me. I'll put out a new video every day for you for the rest of my life. Please, there's 100 of us already together this morning. Give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. That way, you'll find out every time I put out a new piece of content, and it will always relate to silver and gold. And don't forget, right? We've been through some rough times together, folks. We're going to be going through some good times together as well. Remember that old show? Gosh, as I said that when I was a kid, I used to watch a show called Good Times. We're going to have it. That'll be our new theme song. And we've had a pretty good time this week with the silver price and gold price, right? Hey, silver, before I came on, it's fighting to get above $25 per ounce. Gold, $19.60 per ounce. What caused it? It was the CPI number on Wednesday. Now, look, I'm not bragging. I'm often wrong. But on Tuesday, during my live stream, you can check me. I predicted that we'd have an inflation print a little lower than normal and that we could see increasing silver and gold prices throughout the rest of the week. For once, I was right, okay? And that's exactly what happened. As inflation comes down, that means the Fed doesn't have to be so hawkish. And by the way, we got some great news we're going to talk about later when it comes to the Fed, believe it or not, and hawks and my home city here in St. Louis. Nonetheless, that lower than expected inflation, that means, hey, we're not so worried about the Fed continuing aggressively. Look, here's what's going to happen. This is my prediction. Yes, we are going to get another quarter-point interest rate hike here in July, okay? Then, after that, they're done. That's what I say is going to happen because we got the lag effect of all the past, and the economy is slowing. I'm talking to some high-level people that are talking about retail sales, the reality, right? Not the figures we get from our government that says, oh, everything's great. Joe Biden's working his economic miracle. No, the reality is the economy is slowing right now, and it's only going to continue to slow, right? And the last thing they're going to want to do when they start to see this compounding slowing is to raise rates even more. And when it becomes more generally accepted by the sheeple, right? You're not a sheeple. You like to dig in, right? You're a silver and gold enthusiast like me. We look at the big picture, the real story, the real facts. But when the sheeple people start to wake up and it's like, oh, maybe the Fed's done. Maybe they're going to pivot. Guess what? We're going to have even more support under the silver and gold price. And look, we need to remember this. I've said this all along. We are still within striking distance of new all-time highs with gold. Okay? And gold is the granddaddy of the precious metals. Look, we love silver. Probably more of you stack silver than gold. Let me know in the comments right now. I command you, please tell me, are you a silver stacker or are you a gold stacker or are you a both? Do you go both ways? Silver and gold, that is. I'm silver, okay? But I own a lot of gold mining stocks. By the way, later today I'm going to have a video coming out with the CEO of this company. Isn't this beautiful? Huh? That's a Wyoming gold back. Okay? Jeremy Cordone, he explained a lot of things, cleared up a lot of things for me regarding these gold backs. These are legal tender, right? This is legal tender in the state of Wyoming. It's pretty interesting, guys. Definitely worth opening your mind up. I think a lot of us have a bias against goldbacks and say, oh, they're too expensive. Oh, they're too, over spot. He does a really good job, and it makes sense, explaining why we might want to look at that in a different way. Nonetheless, gold is the granddaddy. We love our silver, okay? 30% gold for Richard Cooper. Silver Sam, all right. Albin goes both ways. Robert Spataro stacks AU, which is gold. Paul Beeler, I had to think about that. That's pretty sad. AG is silver, AU is gold. 50-50. Andrew McKelvin, Texas Best Flooring's a silver guy. Coinshop Chris is a silver guy. All right, guys. Now, silver wins is fractional. Great point, Richard. I got something groundbreaking that I'm going to share with you, okay? And I ran this by a couple CEO level people that are in the mining sector, and they agreed with me. So that means, hey, they're geniuses as well, or maybe not. Nonetheless, when gold is within striking distance to all-time highs, okay? When gold gets above $2,100, this is my next prediction, and I know this one will come true. I know it. Once we get gold in that 2,100, 2,200 range, guys, which we've been fighting for seems like decades, years, months, whatever. Once gold gets to 2,200, the trip to 26, 2,800 is going to happen in a flash, okay? And I'll tell you why. Because at that point, the sentiment has been so horrible for gold, right? We love it, right? We live in a little echo chamber, right? Welcome to Ron's Basement. I hope you like this echo chamber. I hope you come back. Don't forget to give this a thumbs up. Nonetheless, everybody else out there, the other 99.3% of people, don't give two toots about gold. People like my mom and dad, who I love dearly, right? My neighbors, who most of which I like pretty well, or really well, almost all of them exclusively. Nonetheless, they don't care. They don't care. It's not on the Today Show. Susie sits upstairs and watches that darn Today Show. The only time they ever mention gold is, well, the Wagner Group, those dirty Russians, they've taken over gold mines in Africa. Gold, gold's painted in a bad light. Silver never gets mentioned, okay? When gold breaks out above 2,100, 2,200, a couple big things are going to happen. Number one, sentiment is so low. Like, if we had to measure it on an A to F scale, I'd give it an F, a fail, right? If sentiment just goes to a D minus or a C level, there's going to be so much more money coming into the sector. But it even gets better. And don't forget, that means rocket ship prices for silver as well. But if sentiment is so bad, everybody hates it so much, if just the Wall Street Journal runs a story, maybe even CNBC, right? Maybe they even talk about gold. People start paying attention a little bit. Thank you for the super chat, Ray Hot. What? Thank you, Ray. That is awesome. Sentiment just gets a little better, okay? More money coming in, but there's another bonus kicker, and that is once gold gets to 2,100, 2,200, there's very little overhead resistance. And I want you to think about this. Look, I'm not a big techie guy, but I'm going to make it real simple for you. Basically, once gold gets to an all-time high, there's nobody waiting there saying, well, I bought gold at 2,400, and once it gets there again, I'm going to sell it. Or I bought gold at 2,300. Once it gets there, I'm going to sell it. Right now, and gold and silver have been fighting an unbelievable fight, like in the $23, $25 range for silver, $1,900 range for gold, right? But there's a lot of people who probably said, oh, I bought gold at 1980, or I bought gold at 1,950, or I bought gold at 2,000 when I thought the world was ending. As soon as it gets back there, I'm going to sell. We got to work through those people, and we've already worked through a lot of them because we've been in this range for a long time. So once we get above in the new all-time high territory, and people start paying a little attention to gold, and all this relates to silver as well, a little bit of attention to gold, and we get that new money coming in, and there's nobody out there saying, I want to sell if it gets to 2,300, or I'm telling you, the trip from 2,100, 2,200 to 2,600, 2,800 could happen really quick. Now, I don't have a crystal ball. There's only one guy we know, right? And he's generous enough to join us on a regular basis here on the show who actually has a crystal ball, and that's our good friend Buddy Rumble, the Louisiana gold guru. You can watch a couple of his old videos. That guy 6 weeks ago said gold's going to hit 1,900. Now, recently what he said is he thinks 1,900 is the new floor for gold. And he's talking about silver hitting $30 in January. Again, guys, this is a guy with a crystal ball. Now, on a side note, if you want to hear a really great interview I did, tune in on Sunday because I've got Bell Star Rumble. Let me show you this. Oh, shoot. Nope, here it is. Bell Star Rumble. Okay, that's a reward. Bell Star, $10,000 in gold coins. She's a grandma. She's smart, she's so cool, and she's a silver and gold stacker, and she's got some fascinating information that you can hear on Sunday when I release the interview. It's being edited right now. And, you think Buddy Rumble's smart? Bell Star Rumble is Buddy's mama, okay? So make sure you tune in for that one, guys. It's going to be a good show. Hey, thanks again for the super chat, my friend. That is awesome. How's everybody doing? Joe Fowler's here. Hey, Joe. Hey, Joe. What's that Jimi Hendrix song? What you doing with that gun in your hand, right? No, you're not that way. I know that. Let's do this thing. So, Ray Hewitt, thanks again for the super chat. But don't worry, guys. I don't know what's wrong with you. Huh? What's wrong with you, you silver and gold bug, you tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist? You think the dollar's going to go down in value? What are you thinking, man? Huh? Really? The dollar's strong. We've got these ultra responsible politicians, the highest degree of ethics and honesty running the show for us in Washington. We don't have anything to worry about. The dollar's going to maintain its value. Just ignore the fact that 70% of the world's population is wanting to move away from the dollar, the BRICS countries. This is unbelievable. Broke this morning, right? Story on Zero Hedge. Think about this, guys. It was talking about how much money our government has spent in just like the last month or whatever, added to our national debt. To make matters even worse, sit down when you hear this one. They're projecting that soon, right, because interest rates have gone up so much and the government has to keep refinancing their debt. And when they're refinancing it, all these treasuries, our old friend Janet Yellen, I'd show her to you, but her box is supporting my microphone. Right? They need to keep refinancing all this debt. They're saying that soon, yes, soon, the interest payments alone on the national debt are going to come to $1 trillion per year. Just the interest payment, right? It's like a situation. Let me put it to you this way. Let's say you're a family man, or you're not a fan. It doesn't matter if you're a family. Let's say your household, right? Let's say you get to a point where you got a house mortgage, you got car debt at 8%, and you've racked up a bunch of credit card debt, and you're getting to a point where every month you can't really make your payments, right? Like the interest payments on all that debt are starting to add up. Let's say you make $4,000 a month and your payments are at $4,000 and you've maxed out your credit cards, but it keeps growing and growing and growing and growing, and you get to a point where you can't pay anymore. That's almost where we are as a country right now, okay? Guess what? I got a little news for you, and I don't like it. I think it's horrific. I think our founding fathers that wrote the U.S. Constitution are rolling over in their grave that our leaders have allowed this to happen. They've pillaged our country for their own benefit. That's a different story. But nonetheless, we don't like it, but it's the reality, and it's not just us that don't like it, okay? That other 70% of the world, the Russians, the Chinese, the Brazilians, the Indians, right? The Indians and the Chinese alone, they've got 2.8 billion people in their country. That's like 8 times what we have in the United States. They don't like what they see going on with the dollar and the U.S. Fiscal management either. And everybody knows it's untenable. Untenable means can't maintain. It can't go on. I'm sorry, it's done, right? It's like if you racked up too much credit card debt, and it's kind of like this. It's like you racked up too much credit card debt, and now you're like, well, I got $3,000 left. I'm going to go to the casino and play some craps. See if I can hit it big, right? That's kind of what it feels like where our country is right now. At the casino playing craps, hoping that they're going to figure out a way to make this system work. The Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain, is Jerome Powell himself, okay? And when it's all exposed, and it's just basic math, you don't have to be a rocket scientist or even have a degree in accounting from an esteemed university like I do to realize the system it's untenable. It just doesn't work. It'd be like me coming to you saying, well, I make $4,000 a month. And I want to buy this house in my neighborhood that cost $1 million. And I figured out a way the payment's going to be $4,500 a month. You'd say I was crazy, right? I was headed for trouble, for being bankrupt. I'll leave it at that. Mic drop. I am so disappointed. I am sad. Actually, I have some good news for you. I live in St. Louis, Missouri, right? You know, Missouri has 2 Federal Reserve banks. You'd think we're all just a bunch of hillbillies, guys in their basement making videos, but Missouri's a financially sophisticated state. I don't know. What is that state? Maybe I need to leave Missouri. We have 2 Federal Reserve banks, nonetheless. Nobody's been killing the price of gold and silver like the Federal Reserve, right? We agree on that. You agree on that? Right? Let me ask you a question, and then I want to tell you the good news. But I want you to answer this. Do you answer yes in the comments? Do you think the Federal Reserve has been the biggest impediment to the silver and gold price over the last 2 years? Yes or no? What do you think? Come on, I want to read your name. You're important. There's only one you. Yes, Paul K. Thank you. Ricky's House of Crap. Ricky's House of Crap. Oh, how about them libertads? But you're by okay. Coda says yes. Abram in the Fed. Hello, Abram. Abrams who sent me these goldbacks. I really like them. I used to have 8 of them, and I gave 6 away. I think I sent 1 to Coin Shop Chris. Yes, Jeff. Yes, Coin Shop Chris. Our good friend Coin Shop Chris. Gregory Long. Daniel Kessie. Dick Goldsmith. Yes. Richard Cooper. LBMA in the UK. Miko Pokalagyanen. Yes. Sorry, I can't pronounce your last name, Miko. I like Miko. That's easy. Paul Beeler, yes. David Flop. Yep. William B. Yes. Jerona RJ, you are important. Actually, every single one of you right now, right? Take a step back, right? All of us, but we're all together, but you are important. And I want to remind you of that. You know, we all get lonely, we all get sad, we all get frustrated, but we're also all important. And you can do something nice to yourself first and then somebody else today. I'm sorry, this is not a self-help channel. Audit the Fed. SoCal. Refugee. Susan Pitts. No paper derivatives. Silver. Yes, says Texas. 40 ounce to freedom. Yes. Yeah. Okay. I got some good news, guys. I think you've all agreed the Fed has been our biggest enemy, tamping down the price of gold and silver on a regular basis. Okay? All right, right? And who's the worst of them all? We got Jerome Powell at the top, right? But then there's the 12 Fed governors, 2 of which are in Missouri, like we've already covered, right? Yeah. And what do? They raise rates, and then 2 weeks later, they all go out to fancy lunches and give speeches, and it's headline news on Reuters and Bloomberg and CNBC, you know? And guess who's the worst? Who's the one that killed us the most? Who was the warrior against silver and gold, right? And he wouldn't say that, right? If we talked to this guy, if we said, you were mean to us, gold and silver investors, and you lied, and we don't believe you. Who was the most egregious offender in that area? A man from St. Louis, Missouri, right here, St. Louis, the head of the St. Louis Fed, James Bullard. Now, I don't know him personally, right? Maybe he's a fine, nice guy. I think he belongs to a different country club than I do. But nonetheless, James Bullard repeatedly killed the price of silver and gold, right? He did. He was a hawk. He was a super hawk, okay? And we get this news. Hold on, guys, because look, I don't know him personally. Like I said, maybe he's a nice, fine guy. I don't agree with his monetary and fiscal policy, but listen to this. Where is it? I got to read this to you. Oh my gosh, I can't find it. Oh, here it is. July 13th. That was yesterday, I think. Reuters. St. Louis Federal Reserve President James Bullard, a leading hawk. A leading hawk. He was the lead hawk. Hawk, hawk. I used to make fun, right? They're all up on a wire, all 12 of them. You know, I forget all their names. There's one in San Francisco, one in Kansas City, one in Boston. Hawk, they're all hawks. They'd come out and they'd all start squawking. We're going to raise rates. We need to tighten monetary policy. And what happened to us? It was like a shot to the heart. A shot to the heart, right? Because we know it's all a bunch of BS. All right, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be reading this to you. A leading hawk at the U.S. Central Bank who pushed for aggressive interest rate hikes to curb high inflation will leave the Fed regional bank next month to join Purdue University's business school. So he's got some cushy job where he's not going to have to do anything. I'm just joking. Again, I don't know the guy personally, whatever. This is the kicker. This is the good news. Because remember, he was the super hawk. And there's something hidden in here, and we're going to talk about it. The super hawk said he will not take part in the policy deliberations or rate setting decision at the Federal Open Market Committee's meeting on July 25th and 26th. That's when everybody expects him to raise rates again, according to a statement from the St. Louis Fed. So the super hawk is gone. The super hawk's not even going to have any input on the next rate hike decision. Think about this. Am I crazy for thinking this? Am I a conspiracy theorist? But is he leaving because he's ticked off? He knows the gig is up. He knows, maybe he really does think they should be raising rates, and he knows they're not, and he's going to leave. I don't know. I'm just saying maybe, because like I said earlier, I think they will raise rates one more time, and that's all she wrote. I don't know. Very, 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 very interesting. Oh, I got so much more. Oh, guys, this was the whole point of the video. We need to talk. I have a big, big, big warning for you. Let me take a drink of water first. Those of you who have been around for a while, I used to not have a microphone that muted, and I would get attacked by people, including the most important person in my life, my wife, because when I would drink water, you would hear me gulp. And I got a big warning. Big warning. Big warning for you. Okay? I know what it's like to invest in silver and gold. But guys, a lot of you are making a big, big mistake when it comes to buying silver. Okay? Nobody has a crystal ball. We've covered that already, except Buddy Rumble. Nonetheless, there's a pattern. I talked with Coin Shop Chris about this last night. His coin shop was overran yesterday. The coin shop where he works, with people buying silver. Well, that's great, Ron. That's great. That's great. Yeah, that is great, right? More people buying silver, the better. But guys, potentially, you're making a big, big mistake, because what happens in the silver market is this. And I've heard Rick Rule talk about it. Coin Shop Chris talked about it. I talked to one of the big executives of that bullion company yesterday, silvergoldbull.com. We talked about it, but there's even something more interesting that he and I talked about regarding this. Guys, when the price of silver goes down, You know what a lot of people do, and maybe it's you, and don't beat yourself up, and I'm not putting you down because any silver is probably good silver at this point, but the price of silver goes down. Remember just a couple of weeks ago, silver went from $26 on Cinco de Mayo all the way down to $22, like Buddy Rumble said it would, or close to $22. Nonetheless, when the price of silver went down from 26 to 22, you know what a lot of people did? They didn't buy anything. Sales at the coin shops, sales at the bullion retailers collapsed, right? Here it is on sale, whatever, 15% lower, right? And and I was just reading a comment about misleading. I'll see what that says, and I'll address that in a second. The price goes down and people don't buy, okay? Or they sell, they cash out, they get, when things are on sale, that's the time to buy. So then what happens over the last 3 days when silver shoots up? I think 7% at one point, 8%? People flood the retail investors, the normal people like us. They flood in and they buy silver on the way up. Look, nobody's perfect. It's an emotional decision. I woke up yesterday morning and I looked at silver and I thought, oh my gosh, it's flying. I thought, I need to buy. I felt it. I felt that feeling. You got those little devils. I was like, I should buy. I need to buy some silver. I need to buy some silver. I had that feeling, right? I need to buy silver feeling. I bet you can relate to that. Well, it's not the time to buy when it's shooting up. The time to buy was a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And one way that you can eliminate all this emotion involved in when you should buy, sell, whatever, set a darn schedule for yourself. There's one of two ways. Set a darn schedule. Like, hey, I'm going to buy gold. I'm going to buy silver. I'm going to buy platinum once a month, every month on the 5th of the month. Or I'm going to buy every 3 months on the first day of each quarter, January 1st, whatever that would be, April 1st, July 1st, and October 1st? Yeah, October 1st, right? You eliminate this emotion. You dollar cost average in. Now, if you want to be tricky, like my old friend Tricky Ricky, one of my best friends, I haven't talked to him much lately. We've been best friends since 3rd grade. Tricky Ricky, right? You want to be tricky like Tricky Ricky? Well, then what you do is you buy when the price is down, but you've got to be the master of your emotions. Because when the price is down, like it was 2 weeks ago, you're not going to feel like buying. You're going to be like, oh, nobody likes silver. Silver's unpopular. Maybe they're right. Maybe it is just a industrial metal that there's no way they're ever going to be able to supply all the industrial demand. But nonetheless, right? You can try that, like buy when down, either dollar cost average or buy when down. And look, maybe people buying right now today are going to be okay. I'm not, I don't have a crystal ball, right? We could have $45 silver, $48 silver, right? $48 silver, that could be possible within 6 months or a year. So people buying today could come out smelling like roses. But what I'm saying is, to help avoid some frustration, either dollar cost average in or do the opposite of what your emotions are telling you, right? When you really feel like you don't want to buy it, when it's really been beat up, and even the silver bugs are, nobody's watching Ron's basement videos. Nobody cares about silver. That's the time to buy. Now, interesting conversation yesterday. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can pull up his. Here he is. This guy, I was super impressed. Silver gold bull. Arian Vafadar. Super smart, young executive, right? Unbelievable what this young man has accomplished in his career. He is the trading and inventory manager at silvergoldbull.com. I'll have an interview with him coming out, I think, on Saturday morning. Their company, silvergoldbull.com, generates about $1 billion a year in annual revenue. And I'm not going to give the whole interview away, but regards to what we just talked about, what he said was, when the price was down, quote unquote, nobody was buying except for What he saw were big orders, big monster orders, monster boxes, right? $15,000 a crack worth of Silver Eagles or UK Britannias, whatever the case may be. So the smart money, the big money, was buying a couple weeks ago. Now, look, again, I'm not saying you're not smart if you're buying now. We don't know where things are going to go, but you do know one thing for sure. When the price is down and you buy, if it's gone down $4 in the matter of 8 weeks, like it did a while ago, you're better off buying then than you were previously. You can always wait. You can always be patient. Okay. I hope that makes some sense to you. Let's see here. Oh man, it just never ends. Interesting. When you leave comments on my videos, I always pick one or two to talk about during the live stream. And my friend Richard C., I thought, had a great question, a great comment. I want to read this to you. Hey, Ron, hope all's well. Appreciate you and enjoy your show. Thank you, Richard. I'm glad you enjoy my show. Thank you. I always seem to catch the live streams 20 minutes in, so I don't type my questions in, but I thought I'd ask this way. With approximately, this is interesting, guys. He brought up something super interesting about silver and gold that a lot of us don't think about. With approximately 1 to 3 ounces of silver, there's only 1 to 3 ounces of silver in existence, mined and refined, per person in the world. That means if you took all the silver in the world, right? All of it. That would include this beautiful unicorn round that was given to me by my good friend Snakebite, right? All the silver in the world and divided it up, there'd be 1 to 3 ounces per person. He says, how's it going to work as money? Is it only to be used as a storage of wealth? Will there have to be a less precious metal coin alongside it? Same with gold. There's approximately 25 grams per person. I think am I right on that? There's 30 grams in an ounce. Numbers I used are from Google, so I could be wrong, which I often am. So am I, my friend. Together, we're absolutely wrong. No, great question. Then he says, when we do go back to sound money, how do you see it playing out? Boiling frog theory, masses don't realize it's too late, then stuck with that government, whatever the Federal Reserve is offering, or a violent rioting, looting, when those who aren't prepared realize what's happened. Just go smoothly and instantly fix the world's problems. What he's talking about is, we got about an ounce of gold per person on the planet, and we've got about, let's say, 2 ounces of silver per person on the planet. How the heck are we going to use that as money, right? Well, I guess on the super optimistic, number one, we're talking about will the world go to and evolve or devolve to a point where we have to use silver, gold as real money? That's up for debate, right? A lot of people say we don't want that to happen because that's not going to be a pretty world. I don't necessarily personally think that in 10 or 20 years that's going to be the case. It absolutely could be the case, right? Okay. Secondly, are we going to be in a situation where gold and silver become the money, right? The only money. Again, I don't know. I think there's going to be, how do I say this? Potential different versions of that scenario playing out. Now, it's important to realize we're seeing one of those potential versions supposedly going to play out very soon on August 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Somewhere in that range, we're supposed to hear from the BRICS countries about a new world reserve currency that will be backed by gold. So we're already seeing it, right? We're already seeing some version of the world going back to the gold standard. And let me tell you this, and that's always good for silver as well. Remember, guys, when I talk about gold, I'm talking about silver. When I'm talking about silver, I'm probably talking about gold as well. But remember, I believe this wholeheartedly. And I don't hear anybody else talk about this. Maybe you agree, maybe you don't. But nonetheless, I believe that the world has never gone off the gold standard or the silver standard, right? There's been little, monetary mirage that they've played several times throughout history. And the US has been doing it since 1971 as the world's dominant reserve currency. But gold and silver are still, no matter what they do, no matter what games they play, and I'm trying to think of a good analogy, whatever smoke and mirrors they throw up, right? And this is worth money. Tulip bulbs are worth money. Hey, digits are worth money. Electronic digits are worth money. Whatever they do, right? Derivatives are worth money. Debt is money. Really? Okay, well, no. No matter what they've done, gold and silver are the real money. So I think what it comes down to, I think this is a great way to describe the situation that our good friend Richard C. brought up. It depends on the degree to which gold and silver at any given time are being recognized as the real money. They always are, right? They always are. But it's the degree to which they're saying the world is recognizing it. And what we're seeing with the BRICS, again, is an increase in the recognition that gold and silver, platinum for our good friend Neil from Neil Hahn's Dynasty, that those are the real money, right? What are the central banks? Hey, super chat. Hey, Kirsten, thank you. I forgot to say thank you to you last time. I think that's Danish. I'm bad about world geography. So anyway, thank you. Thank you. Super nice. Super chats, always appreciated, never expected. But guys, it's the degree to which the world, depending on who's in power, right? The Romans did it. They backed their money with silver and gold, right? And then they kind of moved away from it slowly, and it's happened all throughout history. But silver and gold, and this is the big one. This is the big one. Right? The degree to which it's being recognized, the BRICS are beginning to recognize it more, but who's, look, I'm sorry, it's a warm and fuzzy for us, so we gotta remember this. The central banks of the world are the most sophisticated financial institutions, period. The most powerful, I don't want to say sophisticated, most manipulative, that's for sure, but nonetheless, powerful as well. What are they doing? Have you thought about it? Right? Remember, gold and silver are always real money. It's just the degree to which it's been recognized. And what are the world's most powerful, I'm whispering to you, powerful financial institutions, and maybe most manipulative as well? What are they doing? Let's ask Jerome. Hey, Jerome. Hey, guys, you haven't seen him for a while. Hey, Jerome, tell Bullard that we're really going to miss him, number one. But Jerome, what are the world's most sophisticated central banks doing? All except you. That's right. Put him back in his box. They're buying gold. Oh, my God, I forgot to ring the bell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When we get to 200 thumbs up, which is right around the corner, there. Oh, I've been horrible watching the comments. I apologize, guys. I read them all after the live stream. But yes. Okay. When we get to 200 thumbs up, this bell was brought to us by our friend Joe. It's a real, legit cowbell. And when we get 200, like it says on the bell, we ring that one as well. Now I got to get a 300 thumbs up bell. Somebody's going to bring me a big, giant church bell with a rope I can pull. Where can I get a church bell, except if I steal one from a church? And on many levels, I don't want to do that. Hey, Richard Cooper, our friend in the UK, Jimmy Smith. Hey, Jimmy, fat fingers. Ron, I'll get you a gong. Yeah, a gong. That's good. I could hang it from the rafters down here. What do you guys think? A gong or a church bell? I don't know. I think they both sound interesting. Get a dinner bell. Yeah, right. One of those triangular ones like they had on Ponderosa. I could ring that, right? It's three-sided. That would be good for 300. Thank you, Richard Cooper, for that awesome. Oh, I got another one. One more. This was a comment on one of the videos from you. Guys, I'll read, wouldn't that be cool if I addressed your comment in a live stream? So don't forget, leave a comment. This one's from Citizen Car 7824. Here, he's from New Zealand. I love when I get word on the street from foreign countries. I've been to New Zealand. Beautiful. Ron, here's another crazy fact from New Zealand. The premium on 1 ounce of silver is around 30% in New Zealand. Just an ounce of silver. Yet, 1 ounce gold is a factor lower at only 3%. This idea that silver, interesting activity in silver over the last few days, right? But people are waking up around the world to the fact that silver is like the next big thing, okay? Here, even this. A Face for Radio with Richard Marks. Silver is scarce. Industrial demand, cancels all the BS. Thank you, A Face for Radio. Gold really is useless metal. It's pretty, and I love the way it feels, but everything electronic needs silver. Mines are depleting in deficit. All right, I'm better and I'm back. Yes. Wesley Dorset. Yes, I talked about that earlier, Wesley, but thank you for bringing it up. We're so sad that James Bullard has decided to go off into the pastures. They put him out to pasture. He's going to go be in academia. That's interesting. And I wonder if he'll get big speaking fees from Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan. I just wonder if they'll say, hey, why don't you come talk at our lunch? We'll fly to New York City and we'll pay you whatever. 100? Well, I don't know. Again, I don't know James Bullard. Probably a nice guy. Invited him here to the basement. He was a local. He never showed up. But, whatever. That basement is making me cough. Excuse me. Now you made me cough talking about me coughing. Sure. Hey, Annie Oakley. Derek. All right. Woohoo. You guys never cease to amaze me. All right, guys. Thank you. Yes, you, for joining me today. It's been another great live stream. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.